If you're going through a period when you can't decide between two important decisions and you keep butting your head against it, this reading is for you. The cards that turned up are amazing, really here to help you be able to tune into your intuition so that you can make that decision and move on with clarity. Let's dive in. The theme of today's reading is going to be about the Two of Swords. Interesting. The Two of Swords is all about being at a crossroads, having two decisions and just not being able to see clearly. If you notice, the sun is blocked. And when the sun shines, usually we can see things and we can see everything and it's easy to make a decision. But here it's blocked and we seem to be kind of like stuck, not being able to see what of these two choices we should go for. So what is the focus though? Because that could go in so many different ways. Let's see what's coming out. The Son of Pentacles. And the Son of Pentacles is actually all about somebody who puts in the hard work, who knows that anything that is meaningful takes time and energy and hard work. So it's ready to put in the reps and do those hard works and put one foot in front of the other. But if you notice, the Son of Pentacles here, and often in a lot of different decks, also has a tendency to be a little bit too focused. So focused on that last destination that it's kind of has tunnel vision. It's not looking up. It's actually not focused up here where the intuition, the moon in tarot have to do with our intuition or our subconscious. So looking down, so focused, so trying so hard that it's not able to see. So what I'm getting here is that in this moment of kind of like indecision, you're focusing so hard and trying so hard to figure it out, but you're kind of doing it in a very heady way, like this deer here. It's kind of like just trying so hard, keep butting your head against this, as if like the more energy you put into it, the better you're going to figure it out. But we all know that never works. So now I'm curious, actually, what can you do to get more in touch with your intuition? Because if you are able to get in touch with your intuition, you will be able to figure this out and be able to make a choice clearly, because in a way you won't even need the sun, because the intuition comes from your sun from within, the knowledge that you have from within. So let's have a look. What could you do to get more in touch with your intuition? Okay, we got the Daughter of Wands. Very interesting, because the daughters are the youngest of the court cards, and they actually are very childlike in a good way, which means that they kind of think and see outside the box. They're very curious and they're very creative too. Wands have to do with our creativity. So what I'm getting here is that one of the best ways to get back in touch with your intuition and to stop kind of focusing down here is actually to maybe do something a little differently, to think outside the box, to kind of like also just see things in a different light. And for sure you could say, okay, well, how do we do that? Well, to me, it's about like being open and curious to things, to, you know, not focusing so hard on this choice right now. It's almost like you're focused so hard on it that actually by taking a little breather and like actually giving a little space, you might actually be able to see clearly. So to me, it's like almost like doing other things that have nothing to do with this decision, but that are different and kind of are going to help you just start seeing things in a different way. Like maybe it's taking up a new hobby, or maybe it's walking a different way to work, or because, you know, whenever we do something new, it kind of like turns on these different parts in our brain that are so not being challenged every day. Like, for example, if you take the same walk to work every day or the same drive to work, you're not even going to notice things because you just don't. You're just in kind of like this repetition mode. But even if you take one street down, you're going to start noticing things. And so what I'm getting here is to get in touch with your intuition, do something a little different. Again, it could be something huge like taking up a new hobby, but it could also just be something subtle like changing the way you go to work, or maybe it's about like, you know, sitting with somebody else at lunch, or maybe it's just doing something different will help you start to notice different things. And I think it will going to take your focus away from this, but it might actually give you some other indications that will be helpful for making that choice. So now I'm curious, actually, what are you not seeing that could be helpful to you right now? Let's have a look. Okay, we got the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is actually about moving from choppy waters and moving from chaos to calmer waters. So what I'm getting here is that there's actually movement happening, in the sense that you're going to be moving from the swords, the indecision that you are in, to clarity, to like a place of like beautiful lightness, and where you're not going to have that heaviness of that big decisions weighing down on you. So this card is a card that talks about transitions and movement. So what I'm getting here is that things are already in action. In a way, you're feeling stuck, and you're kind of like, stuck in this place, but it's very temporary. You're already moving away from it, and you're going to be moving from that moment of like just feeling that angst of the indecision. And those swords, interestingly enough, the swords are down here, but then you're going to be moving away from it. So that in itself is useful to know, just because it can help you not feel so stuck right now. Let's see, I'm curious though, to help you make the choice, what signs can you be looking out for? What are things that could help you along the way to be able to make this decision and get out of this? Okay, 2 cards wanted to pop out. Interestingly enough, we got 2 3s. So the 3 of Swords and the 3 of Cups. And 3s in tarot have to do with creativity and creation, because 1 plus 1 is 3. I know you could say like, okay, well, 3 plus 1 is 4, but it's like you take 2 things and you get a third one. So it's about creation and creativity, which is interesting because it's linked very much to this card. Again, it's about kind of like being aware of things that are maybe a bit different, maybe things that are not necessarily in your kind of like in your tradition of like, or your routine. But let's look at these individually and then bring them back together. So the 3 of Swords is sometimes thought about as one of the hardest cards in the whole deck, because it talks about sorrow and grief and very hard emotions like heartache and betrayal. So what I'm getting from this card though is that it's important maybe to be able, like, signs that you can look into are things that are very much grounded in your personality. How does it make you feel deep inside? That decision versus another. How does this decision make you feel down in your core compared to this decision? Think about that. Get into it and see if you have any feelings that are coming up. Do you have one that brings up feelings of, like angst or things like that? And be very mindful of that. Just be very much into the body and your feelings. I'm also getting from this that like the 3 of Swords is not necessarily maybe something that you're going through now, or that even one of these decisions would be bringing you towards. That's not what I'm getting. What I'm getting though is that something in your past might have brought you some heavy emotions. And so use that experience to your advantage. Use what you've gone through in the past to help you be able to figure out what is going on here. Then though, we have this card, the 3 of Cups. And this card is a beautiful card of community and friendships and celebration, but it's about going out and being with other people. It's not about like staying home. And what I'm getting here is that, first of all, don't forget, you could also get signs that could just actually be physical swords, or like something bloody, or a red rope or something like that. It could also be birds. It could be a sunset. It could be these colors. So remember to keep those in mind. But when we think about the 3 of Cups, particularly, what I'm getting here is that, it's almost like, again, getting out of your routine. Go out there and see what your friends have to say. Maybe when you're outside doing something completely different than thinking about this, and you're just outside celebrating, having a good time, relaxing, one of your friends is going to say something that's going to make you think differently. Again, maybe it's going to make you see something in a different way. Or maybe somebody is going to say something, the missing information that you're going to be needing in order to make that decision. And so just to remember that actually sometimes when we step back and try not to figure it out, that's actually when we get some energy and air into this kind of like very fixed thing. And that can actually loosen it up so that you can actually make that decision. So on that, I'm wishing you lots of love and lots of laughter, as always, as you go through this moment, this uncomfortable feeling of not knowing which direction to choose. But I really feel like if you just relax, stop thinking about it so much, and do things a little bit out of your routine, a little bit out of your ordinary, I think things will very much be moving, because again, don't forget, things are actually already moving. So you're not going to be stuck in this moment of indecision for very long. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next video.